It's Jesse and Jenny from In the Wilderness. Obviously. Thanks for watching, joining us, all that shenanigans and stuff. So this is the second part of our Advent series. We did part one last week, and that one was on O Come, Emmanuel. And it was just talking about the first theme of Advent. So, we're back. Okay.
We're back.
We may never have left. That's okay. So the first theme of Advent is hope, and we just kind of talked about how we are just expectantly waiting. The season of Advent means that we're expectantly waiting and hoping for just somebody to come and rescue us, like the Israelites were talking about in Isaiah. They were talking about they were just under threat of invasion, and they were waiting for somebody to come and rescue them. And so that was just kind of what we did with that last week. The video is up if you want to watch that one.
Yeah.
After this, obviously.
Yeah.
And
so this week, not to cut you off, sorry.
No, you're fine.
So this week's theme, this Sunday's Advent theme, is peace. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of churches use right. Oh God.
We are not experiencing peace right now.
Our animals are going crazy.
But this is not peaceful. I'm gonna put him in my room. Keep talking.
Okay. A lot of people, a lot of churches, when they reach this Sunday, they use actually the verse right after that Isaiah verse, which is Isaiah 9, in case you ever wanted to look it up yourself. But Isaiah 9:2 is what was used for hope last week, which is the people who walk in darkness will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep darkness, a light will shine. And so right after that is what they use for this Sunday, which is so beautiful, and it relates so well. It's, you will enlarge the nation of Israel, and its people will rejoice. They will rejoice before you as people rejoice at the harvest, and like warriors dividing the plunder. For you will break the yoke of the slavery of their slavery and lift the heavy burden from their shoulders. You will break the oppressor's rod, just as you did when you destroyed the army of Midian. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms bloodstained by war will all be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. And this is where it gets interesting. For a child is born to us. A son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And so when you read through that verse, you're like, okay, this massive conqueror, and this is what a lot of Israelites thought too.
Yeah.
This massive conqueror is just going to storm on the scene and save us, and this is what we're hoping for. And then it's talking about all these amazing things that he's going to do. He's going to break the yoke of their slavery, lift the heavy burden from their shoulders, break the oppressor's rods. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms bloodstained by war will all be burned. And so you get this image of peace, right? And then it follows up later on with Prince of Peace. But then it twists it and says, a child is born to us. A child, a little baby. Little baby. And that's just, it's so incredible because a lot of people weren't expecting it, but then, it flips it on its head. How O Holy Night relates to peace, and the reason why we specifically chose to put in the second or the third verse in our version, was the third verse says, truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. And so something to understand with that is the ancient Israelites didn't understand peace the way that we do. Well, vice versa. We don't understand how they do, or how they
just don't understand.
What we think of peace is like very serene, calm, quiet. No conflict, quiet. Yeah, just like calm.
Just like out at a lake, nothing going on.
Like that's what we think of peace. And that is part of what their understanding of peace was. But their understanding was more of this word shalom, which you actually see a lot if you read through the Psalms. You see a lot of that word come up. And that word literally translates to fullness or wholeheartedness, lacking in nothing. And so that is what is truly peaceful about today and about this season of Advent. And it relates directly to that verse and directly to that song too. And with that third verse, it's not just about Jesus's birth. It's also the fulfillment and the fullness that he brings. Truly, he taught us to love one another. Clearly, he didn't do that as a baby. He's a baby. But it was through his life as living this perfect human being that got to that point where he taught us to love one another. And then eventually, died on the cross and resurrected. And so whether you believe that or not, that is just how the story goes. And so what we can kind of draw out of that during this season, the season is hectic, it's busy, we're buying gifts for each other, we're thinking about like, what do we want for Christmas and what do we want for our gifts? And for a lot of people, this season, this time of year isn't easy. It brings up a lot of hard memories, brings up a lot of heartache and pain. And so I would just, this Sunday is just such an awesome reminder that we experience a fullness that goes beyond that pain, and it goes beyond just like what we understand of peace. It actually brings us full-hearted, lacking in nothing.
Yeah, which is so like a kind of against this time of like, what do we want for Christmas? What are we missing?
Yeah, what are we missing?
Yeah.
And it's like lacking in nothing.
Yeah.
Shalom, peace. And that's what that's what this today is about specifically, but then this season is about too. It's a fulfillment of a promise. It's wholeness, and it's peace. Shalom. So that's why we chose O Holy Night to represent today in the Advent season.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. If you haven't picked up the EP, the Advent Carols, it's still on our website, inthewildernessband.com/store. It's available for free. Or you can pay what you want. Just enter 0 or higher. That's how it works. Or it's on Spotify. It will be on iTunes at some point if they ever get their act together. So we'll announce that on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, if you don't want to download it, it's available on Spotify, so you can just stream it that way.
Yeah, you can just stream it.
We'll be making more of these videos too, so stay tuned. We'll make another one next Sunday. So you can feel free to check that out.
For the next song on the EP.
Yes, for the next song, which is Lo Hauros Erblumen. So
song.
We love that song.
We love it a lot. We're stoked to do that one.
We're upset.
I mean, we liked this one too. It's good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, Holy Night. Yeah, it's good too. Lo Hauros.
Anyways, we're going to sign off now and get some pizza, so it's going to be good.
Yes.
All right. We love you guys. We like you guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next week. Bye.